thought I would go ahead. I would start my 3D printer once again. I'm building another firebox for an engine. I think this is for a K5. Maybe it's for the December 49. I'm not sure. I just needed one, so I'm printing it. And that takes quite a while, sometimes an hour or more. So while I'm doing that, I thought I would work on my workshop here, my little desk where I work at. And I was frustrated with how the layout was haphazard, and I kept having to look for things and reach for things. So I started to gather up my little trays that Margaret gets me and I never know how to use right. And I was just reflecting back on what I've been doing, and I thought, well, I'm going to put my screwdrivers here, and my grippers and crimpers here, and my little drills here, and I got a tray for all my little clamps. I'm always looking, I'm looking around for these clamps, and I never put them in the same spot, so I decided to do that. And then I realized, my voltmeters down here, my amp meters over here, I can't see them. What if I got my sticky tape and I put my amp meter right here? It's a nice big one. It only goes up to 3 amps. That's because I want the sensitivity. Voltmeter goes up to 15, which is about what it is. And to test out my wiring job, which you can't see, but it's in the back, I thought I'd put in a couple of lamps and see what happens when I crank up the power. So I start cranking up the power, and you can see there's at 5 volts, and we've already reached a half an amp at 5 volts. And they're lit, but they're not real light. So then, well, let's go on up to 10 volts. Let's see what we got at 10 volts. So I'm now at 10 volts, and I'm about 0.6 now. They're much brighter. They're about as bright as you'd want them. But, the transformers can all go to about 15 volts. So let's go up to 15 volts. In fact, this is the maximum for this transformers. And we're still about 0.65 amps. We're not really doing a whole lot. But the light bulbs are really bright. And if I put my hand over there, they're really hot too. So that amps relates to energy and heat. And so you're taking energy into heat, and you're wasting some of that energy and heat, but you're also then creating light. But in any case, I thought, boy, is that a great display of my system, where I can sit here and check it out and see what's going on with my engines, with my variable transformer variable voltage meter. Now then, the other thing I can do is wire up one of my rectifiers. And a rectifier is a very simple thing. It takes AC, which it says in the middle is AC, so you get the 2 wires that are AC, and it splits them into DC, positive and negative DC, direct current, alternating current, direct current. When you do that, I would take my 2 leads that I have here and plug them into the center of the AC, and then I would draw power off up to one of my DC can motors, and that motor would run. It would actually just take off and run. It'd be great. And so I thought, well, maybe you guys want to see some of that. So I'm going to turn this off for a second, and I'm going to unplug it from my light bulbs. Then I'm going to get one of my rectifiers. I'm going to go to the AC side. Then I open my drawer where I put some nice little jumpers. I drag out some jumpers. I've got a red and a black. That's always appropriate. This one's actually yellow and black, but I'm going to use red and black. And then I go from the make sure I'm on the right one. I go from the negative. Here, I'll show you. See here? I hook this black lead up to the negative and this red lead up to the positive. Then I take the other end of these wires. So this is the other end of the red. So that's positive. Usually a color is a positive. So I hook it up to this yellow wire, clamp it. Then I take my other jumper that's on the negative, and I go over to this black wire. Black's usually negative. Think of that, okay? And then I straighten up my little engine, make sure it doesn't tip over. And then I turn on my power, and I start applying a little bit of voltage. And we get nothing. How does that happen? Isn't that interesting? Oh, it worked a minute ago. Come on, you go. I'm on the black. This thing should just take off. That's funny. Now I'm going over 15 volts and I'm not getting a damn thing. And I've got the negative and that and all this doing this thing. Ah, isn't that funny? Funny ha ha. Yeah, funny ha ha. Well, the lights come on, but the motor's not running. Check that out. There's the light. See it? The lights come on. I'm pulling up to about 5-6 inches, but not getting any motor pulse. What the heck? Oh, I am dumb. I am dumb. I am dumb. That is the light. I am so dumb. The motor has its own little clips I have to reach inside. That is the light. How dumb am I? All right. My apologies. All that excitement. Yeah, the headlight works. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hang on to your hat. You can tell this engine's running, right? Now we're at 5 volts, and you can see we're really pulling some amps now. Now I get up to 10. It's a little more. I get up to 15. That's about 7. That's still about 7 amps, which basically, this is a DC can motor in here, is about the same as those 2 light bulbs that we just had. So these 2 light bulbs on really bright are running that DC motor, and the light bulb that's in there is actually an LED, and it just barely turns on. So that's how that works. So anyway, my apologies. There it is. So this is how I'm going to use this then to test how the motor's running, if there's binding. You know, if you see the amps starting to crawl up, you know, way high, and in some of these, like the diesel I just had the other day, it was going up to almost 3 amps. I was pegging the meter over here, and this little guy with a DC can, a single, right? So you can see the open frame engines are, I don't want to say bad, they're just not efficient. And that's the big advantage of going to the DC can motors, that your efficiencies go up, your power then can go to the torque into the motor, and also the rest of the lighting and stuff. And if you use LED lighting, a lot of us are converting switch lights and all that to LED. All your power requirements start to drop in a hurry, and that's a real good thing for everybody in general anyway. Okay, so I just thought I'd show you my new little thingy, and it works. Look at that, volts crank. Pretty exciting. All right, later.